Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be talking you through how I have done my makeup this summer for weddings. Weddings are one of those traditional day to night affairs, so you need something that lasts for the whole day. I've been to a couple of weddings this year that have been extremely hot. We went to one in the south of France and I think that was like 32 degrees, and then another 2 weeks before that in Bath, and that was, I think, 28. And in the Bath one, we were sat in the church, and this poor guy in front of me, in the pew in front, I was like, he is going to go in a minute, he's going to keel over. His shirt started to turn from mauve into like a deep violet purple, just from sweat drenching it, and all his hair went into like spikes. And I was like, oh my God, do I need to call an ambulance? Is he okay? He was literally like... So... in those kind of climates, the last thing you want is makeup running onto your shirt or running onto your dress. Here's my simple tutorial on how to make makeup last and stay on your face. So firstly, if it's really hot, especially for the wedding in France that I was at, I prime my face with a high factor sun cream. I'm using the Roche Posay 50 face cream. It's not worth the wrinkles in this heat, and if you're out all day, and especially if you've got drinks, the last thing you want to do is you're sat there and you're having your champagne, you're like, oh, this is really nice, and the sun is getting you. So after I've used SPF, I'm going to use a silicone-based primer. I really love this one from Skin Chemist. It's Studio Primer. It's silicone-based, so I'm just going to put it onto my hands like this, and then just blend into my face. The thing about using a silicone primer is that silicone really sets onto your skin and it doesn't really allow anything to move around, because what you could be doing is putting your primer on, and as you sweat, as your sweat comes out, imagine that almost like plate tectonics. I mean, my geography teacher's going to be proud. Plates of makeup start to slip down your face, but a silicone will just absorb everything, and it's like, no, sweat will not destroy this makeup. So it's almost like, I suppose it's like the front line, like the tank of makeup, or the prep? I don't know, I'm waffling. Anyway, up next. For this video, I'm going to use concealers to contour my face. I really love contouring on men. Less is more with this, and just a tiny bit goes a long way. So I'm using Bare Minerals Stroke of Light concealers. I'm going to use the lightest one just underneath my eyes. So if you imagine the areas where you want light coming in, so underneath your eyes, down the front of your nose and up here. Now, in this video, I've got a nice mirror down here, but I kept worrying that it was going to slip, and so all halfway through the video I'd be like, oh God, where have you gone? Just going to take a concealer brush and blend in. Now, I also do this when I'm going out on a night out, because, you know, if you imagine in those clubs and pubs, especially as we're going into winter, the light is slightly darker, so you can get away with a little bit more makeup as well. And then I'm going to use the darker concealer and add it to the areas that I would like a little bit of depth and shading. Now, this is great because if you're using a powder, sometimes the powder brushes, it can be too much. Well, I find it can be too much. But these concealers, I really like the little wand shape, so you literally just draw it on. Like, woo! It's perfect. So I'm going to do across the top of the brow here, and this might look very odd to you, and here. Now obviously I've not blended it in, so you're like, what the hell is he doing? Then I'm not a massive fan of my nose, funnily enough, so I always like to try and make it look smaller, so I add a tiny little bit of shading here. I think it's because my brother and I used to tease each other about our noses when we were kids. That little toe rag's giving me a complex. And then down here, just to, because I've got one of those, I describe my face like a basset hound because I've got such like big cheeks like this. So I just add a little bit underneath my cheeks here, where am I? And that adds a little bit of shading. I'm going to blend using just a dual fibre brush. I really like the dual fibres, I guess. And just using it in circular motions, I just find that it just pats it in nicely, and then across the top, and just blending it into the concealer in the middle. Now, if you're nervous, you can do much less than this. And again, with makeup, like building, I mean, practice makes perfect. It's like anything, really. It's like in my day job, I say to like people, you know, the first time you did your tan, it wasn't perfect. And the first time you do your makeup, it's not perfect. But practice makes perfect. And then we're back to my geography teacher. Did he say practice? They all waffle about revision, don't they? I never did any of that. So concealers are on, primer's on, SPF's on. The next layer is, you could use a foundation here. I like to use quite a heavy tinted moisturiser. I'm using Fontaine Hydrating Enhancer by Myego, or Myego. I'm going to go with Myego, it makes more sense. I'm going to put roughly about this much on my hand. Now you can use a foundation brush. I really like a bigger dual fibre brush just because I've got stubble. I find that they just work through really nicely. I mean, they do absorb a little bit more product, so if you do clean shave, a foundation brush would be fine, or even your fingers. But I'm just incredibly fussy, so I'm going to use this, and then you just paint it on, like this, and down here, and again, here, and you just work your way around. And that just adds, it almost like locks in and blends all the concealer. And then you just really buff it through here. But I found this tinted moisturiser, it holds. Like by the end of the night, it's still on my skin. And I think it's a combination of all these products together. I've never been let down, and I've really tried this over the summer. And then I'll just put a little bit down my neck here, because yeah, when you see those girls on the bus or the tube and they've got that nice big Tide mark, oh, there's nothing worse, is there? Blend it, girls, blend it. So now I've just let my makeup sink in a little bit, and now I'm going to set it. Now you could, if you want, put bronzer over the top, use a really light amount. I personally don't think I need any bronzer, so I'm not going to. But I'm going to set it with the MAC Block Powder. I actually take this with me to all events because it's so slim, especially if you're going to a wedding or a night out. It literally will just fit in your pocket. And if you start shining, and I mean, we're guys, or I mean, even if you're a girl, if you're knocking back those pints or if you've had a lot of apple juice, it can start to come out, especially if you're on the dance floor and you're sweating. So yeah, take this. I'm going to use a brush now to apply over the top with, but it comes with one of these sponges, so you can just literally dab on, just run to the loo, no shine. And now, my favourite product for doing makeup in hot weather is MAC Fixing Spray. I actually got given this backstage during Fashion Week. One of the makeup artists was like, darling, you need this for your face. I think he was Italian. I think that accent was Italian, not entirely sure. But yeah, I love it. And you just literally spray it like this across the face. It looks a bit dewy now. It will set, and my makeup literally will not move. And there you have it. That's how I like to do my makeup for a wedding, from day to night, from pub to club, from desk to dance floor. It's really easy to do. Remember, less is more with men's makeup. Keep it looking natural. Don't be too cakey. Always take that block powder with you to the reception, to the wedding, or wherever you're going. I mean, you could use this whenever you like, but this is what I've been using mainly for weddings. It's really nice in the winter too. It's just a really good going out makeup that doesn't look too heavy. It still looks natural, but you've got that little bit of contour, that just really nice and flawless finish. If you're liking the videos that I'm doing, I'm going to try and keep posting them as much as I can. If you want to see any more from me, my blog, julesheptonstore.com, which used to be The Beard and the Quiff, you can go there. Leave your comments underneath if you like it. And yeah, same time next week.